let's get started. So I want to give you 10 different ways to make time for fitness during the holidays, because all the time I hear, I'm just too busy to work out, and we throw in the towel, okay? So number one, you guys know me, I'm a planner. So I want you to schedule it. You've got to schedule it now, like say, just, okay, so let's just stop and let's just be real. We always know every year gets crazy. Don't get to the middle of this holiday season and be like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. What happened, right? We know it gets crazy every year. So I want you to plan it. Maybe you've been working out 5 times a week up to this point. Maybe you don't plan 5 times a week, because maybe that's unrealistic. I want your plans to be realistic. So maybe if you know it gets a little crazy, you're gonna say, okay, you know what? I can make at least 3, if not 4, from here to the end of the year. So make a conscious plan to plan it out. Don't just say that, but get a little more specific and plan the specific days. All right, I'm gonna take hot yoga these 2 days. I'm gonna go to my trainer 1 day or 2 days, and I'm gonna walk the other day, okay? So plan it out exactly what you're gonna do. Schedule it, make it part of your schedule. This is just what you do, okay? You might decide to make your workouts shorter. Okay, so maybe instead of hitting the gym for an hour, maybe you're making them shorter, you're making them 30 minutes. We'll get into that a little bit more as we go on. Which is number 2, short workouts. Consider shifting your program. Maybe you've been doing a strength training program. Maybe it's time to consider shifting that program to high intensity interval training workouts, which are short, fast, furious spurts of work followed by recovery. So for example, you would do a 30-second sprint or jump rope or mountain climber really hard, so you're huffing and puffing. And then you would do like a 30-second recovery. That's a good place to start. And then you would repeat that about 10 times. That'd be a 10-minute workout, maybe 15 times, depending on your fitness level. So consider shifting gears. It's good for your body to shift gears. When I train my clients, I plan them in 4-week blocks. Hi, Holly. I plan them in 4-week blocks, and then we shift gears so that their body has a time to adapt to the workout we're doing and get stronger and fitter and faster. But then we shift gears a little bit, so their body's like, wait, what's going on? So this is a perfect time to shift gears from your long gym workouts to something that's shorter, faster, more intense, so you get big bang for your buck, but you're not spending a lot of time because you know your time is going to be limited in the next month, right? So it's just looking ahead. That's all it takes. So we're going to schedule it. We're going to try short HIIT workouts. I hate gyms doing weights, but religiously I do 100 push-ups and 20. Oh, good job. 20 minutes of jump rope. That is a workout. And a jump rope is an excellent tool that you can have at home because you get that high intensity interval training. That sounds like an awesome workout. All right, so here's the story with the short high intensity interval workouts. We have this thing, it's called EPOC. It's your exercise post-oxygen consumption, and basically what that means is you burn calories for a long time after a high intensity interval workout. Studies show they would test this post-exercise calorie burn in people that rode bicycles for 40 to 60 minutes. And then they would do the same thing for people that did 12 minutes of the high intensity interval workout, and the rate was the same. So, or the calorie burnage was the same. So, which means that you could get, in 12 minutes, you could get the same calorie burnage as you could by spending 40 to 60 minutes on a bike at a lower level. However, that calorie burnage is spread out over a much longer period of time when you look at the 12 minutes of HIIT. So when you take that high intensity, you will increase that metabolism for 12 to 36 hours after the workout. When you do the moderate 40 to 60 minutes, you're burning a lot during the workout, more than the HIIT of 12 minutes. But after the workout, you're only burning calories for about 2 to 4 hours. All right, so over the long haul, the calorie burnage might end up being similar. However, you've kept your metabolism raised for so long that the way you're using the calories post high intensity interval training workout is better, okay? Without getting into the science of that, just because we talked about that before. More bang for your buck with the short, fast, furious workouts. So number 2 is I recommend from here to the end of the year, focus on getting some short interval workouts, and then you're not having to struggle with the time factor, okay? So think about this. We all have, number 3, we all have 168 hours in a week, okay? Find out where you have gaps, all right? So take a simple sheet of paper, write every hour of the day down one column of the paper, okay? So across the top, you're gonna write Monday through Sunday. I have a little PDF for this from my Trainer on Tap group. So you have 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., blah, 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 all the way for the 24 hours of the day, or at least your 16 waking hours. And then go across the top every day of the week. Fill in roughly what it is that you do during each hour, and you will be amazed where you can find gaps of time that you could fit in your workouts, okay? So that's a little practice that I do with my, in fact, Cindy and Ralph, who are in my private training group, my Trainer on Tap membership site, that would be a really good thing for us to do right now. Let's do it. We're gonna find some balance. Our focus is finding balance this month. So I want you guys to try that though. Find the gaps in your time, because you know there are gaps. Are there times where you're waiting for your kids to finish dance practice? Or are there times in the day where you have to go to the post office? Could you walk to the post office? Are there just little pockets of time where you're just waiting and killing time that you could take a walk or walk up and down stairs, or look for the opportunities, because there are gaps. Even if it's 10 minutes, you're gonna get a lot out of that, okay? Number 4, I want you to identify the obstacles. What is it that keeps you from working out in the holidays? Is it busyness? Could you get, this is the number one thing, I'm too busy. Could you possibly start now and get organized? So if you say, well, it's always crazy. We always have all these events. I'm always rushing around like crazy. I always have to clean my house. Ralph has a gap at 3 a.m. That's hilarious. I always have to clean my house. I have all the shopping to do. Could you get that done earlier so that you can set the stage for not having, Periscope just kicked me out. Could you set the stage for not having those obstacles there, okay? So is the obstacle that you have little kids, and getting your little kids to the gym is just kind of a pain in the winter, because you have to get everything on, and you have to get them in the car, and then you have to check them into the nursery, and then you do your workout, and you're listening for them crying, and then you get them, and you get them back in the car, and then that's like a 3-hour thing to get a 45-minute workout. Could you work out at home instead and save yourself the 45 minutes, hour and a half that it takes to load everybody up? Could you do that? What's the obstacle? Take just a few minutes to find out, what is it really that prevents you from working out? Is it fatigue? Could you sleep more to be rested at the end of the day? If you're too tired at the end of the day, could you fit that 10-minute HIIT workout at the beginning of the day? So look at the obstacle, find a way around it. Most obstacles have a simple solution. We just have to find them. And then Ralph, I'll show you where it is, okay? That tool. We just have to find the obstacle and then find our way around it, okay? But map it out ahead, because when you're faced with the obstacle right here, it's hard to see it and it's hard to make a plan around it unless you map it out ahead of time, okay? So spread the workout throughout the day. This kind of goes back to finding gaps in your time. It's called what we call greasing the groove, which is you could do 10 minutes of, maybe 10 minutes of 2 exercises in the morning. You could say, okay, I'm gonna do squats and push-ups. I'm gonna do each one for a minute. I'm gonna rotate through 5 times for 10 minutes, because that's all the time I have. Take your shower, get to work, maybe you have your lunch break, and you say, okay, I'm gonna walk the building for 10 minutes, 15 minutes on my lunch break. And then later in the day, you're like, oh, I can walk to the post office, or whatever it is. But you find those little gaps and spread it throughout the day, so that it seems like, okay, at least I'm getting more movement in the day. But those little spurts, even if it's just 10 minutes, even if you're not super huffy and puffy, those little spurts of movements affect your genes. They affect the enzymes in your body that are, one in particular called lipase, which is like a Pac-Man for fat. The more you get up and move, this little enzyme is ignited, you could say. When we sit for too long, if you're interested in that, I have an article on my website at missyballastonfitness.com that talks about the negative effects of sitting. It's very interesting stuff. But basically, when we sit too long, it turns down these genes and these fat-burning enzymes so that it puts us in a negative state, essentially, okay? So spread it throughout your day. Get little spurts throughout the day. All right, so what else do we have? Just do 5 minutes. Commit to 5 minutes, that is it. Because here's what happens, it's a psychological trick. If you say, I'm just too busy, but I do have 5 minutes. If you commit to 5 minutes of exercise, you'll get to that 5 minutes and you'll be like, I really do have 10 minutes and this feels pretty good. By the time the endorphins in your brain get going, you're gonna be like, this is pretty good stuff. I might as well do another round of what I just did and get 10 minutes, okay? So just commit to yourself 5 minutes. And even if you only got 5 minutes, you got 5 minutes and you gave your metabolism a boost. And when you give that metabolism a boost, you also tend to eat better. Most of us tend to eat better when we stay physically active, okay? So, Gap Hit Fitness, what's that? Oops, I just fell off of Periscope over here. Okay, so my tip number something, I can't remember what number tip this is to, just one moment, sorry guys, is to work out at home. So give yourself a workout at home so you don't have to worry about time. If the problem is getting to the gym, don't worry about it. Do your workout at home and have it be effective. Plan it out ahead of time though, because every time you work out at home, you're like, well, I could do laundry instead. The dishes need doing. Sorry, Lisa, Facebook or Periscope's being weird. I am over on Facebook too right now. If you'd like to join over there. So do that workout at home. Save yourself the hassle and the time and the obstacle of having to get to the gym. It's part of the battle that you're like, well, it's cold and snowy in the morning. I have to clean off the car. That's a real struggle. Those of you that live in California don't know it. But you have just to, yeah, Lisa, if you want, I'm over on Facebook too. That's an obstacle. It's like, I don't really want to shovel the walkway, warm up the car, scrape the windshield. I mean, that's like an extra 15 minutes. Just do your workout at home. Do it. That'll save you a ton of time. And it's probably safer than driving in the snow. All right. When you, oh yes, okay. I couldn't remember what I wrote down here. So on your lunch hour, maximize your time. Do your walk first. So you get an hour of lunch, possibly. Some of us don't. Get an hour of lunch. Use the first 30 minutes to take a walk or walk up and make it a little more intense even. Walk up and down the stairs in your office building. You could even walk up the stairs, lunge down the hall, walk down the stairs. I mean, you might look odd, but you never know. Look for the opportunities in your scenario that will improve movement for you, okay? Sometimes it's just a matter of looking for it because we get into these unconscious patterns of, oh, it's noon, I go to lunch, I sit down, I read the paper, I eat my lunch, I go back to work. But look for opportunities for change, okay? So you could potentially maximize your fat burning abilities by, if you haven't eaten lunch or breakfast since 8 a.m. and it's now noon and you're kind of in a pretty fasted state, you could maximize your fat burning abilities by taking a walk first and then eating your lunch because your blood sugar levels are low and the body's gonna be like, there's not a lot of blood sugar here. Maybe we ought to go turn some stored fat into a fuel that she can use during this walk. So that's one way that you can then get a double whammy. You might be saying, well, it was only a 30-minute walk, but if you time it correctly, you're gonna get bigger bang out of your buck, okay? All right, number 9-ish, include family time and make fitness fun. So do the Xbox with your kids, do the Connect with your kids. One thing that I do is when I'm studying spelling words with the kids, I come out here and walk on the treadmill or do the bike or we go for a walk outside. But you can incorporate the kids. Over on the website, I have a blog post. The link to the blog post is in the comments here. That I wrote about this article. There's a great workout you can do with a deck of cards over there, and it's really fun for kids. So if you make it a game, your kids will come along with you. So get activity in that way. Now, I realize I used to work out at home before I had this gym, in the house with the kids, and it was a mindset. I had to create this mindset. Welcome over on Periscope. I had to create this mindset that it may not be the perfect workout that I would get if I was doing myself, but I'm getting a workout. And when the kids would come down and want to fiddle with my medicine balls or whatever, I would just let them play with it because I was at least getting a workout and it was less stressful than trying to fight it and take them back upstairs and things like that. It's all a mindset, especially when you've got the little kids around. You have to make that shift. It's just what life is, okay? And then the last one, number 10, is find, again, it's another find the opportunities, but at your work, during your work day, could you take the long way around the office to get to the water cooler? Could you use the restroom on a different floor? Could you walk a message over instead of sending an email? Could you, every time the other people take a smoke break, could you take a stair break and walk up and down the stairs for 5 minutes? I mean, that's gonna get your heart rate up. It's gonna get some muscle contraction. It's gonna give you some favorable blood sugar balance, especially after a meal. So there are things that you could do during the workday. I bet that you could find some. Could you go to the staircase in the one that's not like right in front of everybody and do a couple lunges on the bottom step, then walk up a flight of stairs, and then do some step-ups on the bottom step and walk up a flight of stairs and do some push-ups off the bottom step and walk up some stairs and do some dips. And there's a lot of things you can do. That's the kind of workout I do when I go to hotels that don't have a gym, is use that staircase when no one's watching. Okay. So that is 10 brief tips for you about how to fit fitness into your day when it comes to the busy months.